Hi guys, welcome back to Style and Direction, the menswear podcast without the stuffiness. And as far as I know, it's the only one without stuffiness.
Yeah, everyone else, they're all congested all the time.
I was going to make a turkey joke. I was going to be like,
Our
hand-cut radio
sponsor,
full of turkey.
Our sponsor this week is Mucinex. Antonio Banderas.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what's the, is that the bee?
He's a bee. There's a bee?
There's a bee? Oh, hey, jinx.
Two
little
minds think alike.
The power of the two restores the one true
Happy New
emperor.
Year, everyone.
Yeah, this is your first episode of 2020.
And the last
Justin Timberlake. the last one you'll ever hear. This is what you hear on the way to the pearly gates.
Yep. So anyone that's listened to this, you are dead.
You are dead. You
don't
missed
know
the
it yet.
rapture.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. It's great.
It's not the last episode. We're gonna keep going for decades.
It's not the last Mimsy. I feel like that's a running joke. Every time we say the last something, I always say the last Mimsy.
Okay.
So, yep, new episode. And with it comes a topic that I've for those of you who don't know, a lot of the topics for episodes come out when I'm like writing a long essay on the blog, and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting tired of writing. How about we add in some supplementary stuff via conversation with Spencer? And that's how this one came about.
Here I am.
Today, we're going to be talking about shoes.
Oh my God, shoes.
That's a video, right?
Yeah, it's like it's got to be over 10 years old at this point. Let
Hey,
me look up.
YouTube rewind. real
OMG
quick.
shoes. Do you like the clicking? New
Yeah, the
keyboard.
clacking. Yeah, Spencer got a new computer to play some video games.
Yeah, join me on video games.
Yes, sir.
2006. Wow.
Wow. That's 14 years.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about shoes today because on the blog post, which you'll see this with, it's kind of, I called it Ethan's shoe journey, or these are my Aldens, because it's a very funny vine that Spencer and I like about Crocs.
Yep.
And it's something that we've never really talked much about before, and we've kind of admitted it a couple of times. I think when we talk to Aldens, we talk about like what we would have if our wardrobe had to start over, like what we would invest in. And I'm pretty sure he said something like, "Oh, I got to make sure I get a good pair of shoes." And I'm like, "Well, I could just eBay that shit. Like, it's not that big of a deal."
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, and Spencer as well, that our stance on shoes has certainly changed over the years, especially since that episode. And usually when things change, usually we get a big discussion and a great big blog post about it. And as you probably know, that blog post contains how I stumbled into the world of Alden. And that's kind of a big deal for me, because what was the shoe brand you used to buy, Spencer? What did you used to wear? Let's start.
What I
let's start
used
there.
to wear, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was never really like big into shoes.
And most guys are.
Yeah, it's like the shoes that I wore most often throughout high school were a pair of like Chippewa boots. But other than that, I got some like saddle shoes from but all like not multicolored saddle. Well, they were two-tone, but they were like brown suede saddle shoes that I wore all the time. And those were from,
Because you were a cool young 40s, 50s kid,
yeah,
right?
those were from DSW. And after that, I had a pair of like brown Oxfords that I still really like, that I got vintage. I don't remember the brand of those, but I got those secondhand.
I remember once we had I think it was a friend who was like trying to figure out like where to buy some new shoes. This is fairly recently, so I'm already like changing into like, oh, you got to buy Alden or buy, invest in something. And he's like, so how do you feel about DSW? I'm like, designer shoe warehouse. Like, yeah, are they good? I'm like, no.
Are they still around?
I don't know. I haven't been to an outlet mall.
Hey, ready for some clicky clacking?
God, we're gonna get some bad reviews on this now.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah, one of the first reviews we have says everything's great except when one of the hosts clicks his pen or his mouse. It's annoying, and I'm like, yeah, we'll see.
DSW is still around. It's just all the ones by my house have closed. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, like for me, like I said, I was never really into shoes that much. I didn't really realize how important they were for like style. Like I think near the end of like high school or early college, I noticed like, okay, all the skater guys are like wearing like Vans or Converse, and then the basketball players are wearing like high top shoes. I guess that's what makes it a basketball shoe, right? Because
Mhm.
I guess it covers the ankle so you don't roll the ankle or something. I don't know how that works. Of course, there's like the cleats thing, and I remember one of the first. This is not in the blog post, because I'm just remembering this now. But like, I remember one of the first shoes I ever got that was like the sickest thing ever. Was like, I think it was like Porsche branded leather sneakers.
Oh my
it was,
God.
and it wasn't like we bought it at like maybe like a Nordstrom outlet or something, like, because Nordstrom outlets get random ass shit sometimes, right? And it was like black with like it might have been like an Adidas collab, because there might have been like a stripe on it or something. But I was like, hell yeah! And I love those shoes. This was like sixth grade. This is like 6th or 7th grade. And I remember one time they got dirty, and I remember like feeling so defeated inside that I licked my finger and I cleaned it. Yeah, because I was like, oh my god, like the whole concept of like lived in things wasn't like a big,
And what
wasn't
what
crossing my
color
mind.
were these? Were these white?
These were like they were like black and white.
Okay.
And like the black leather with like white leather. I don't know.
I hope you have photos of these to include.
I would love to find them.
Yeah.
If I could. But yeah, like other than that, I never was like super into shoes. And then when I got into vintage, which was like 2012 around the Gatsby era, my only pair of dress shoes were like some bad, like like split toes, but like the dad Rockport split toes, or like Cole Haan or Kenneth Cole Reaction, like you get at like an outlet kind of thing. I wore that a lot, and I realized like you can't wear vintage with these. And then I simultaneously got into menswear at that time, like regular menswear. And my mom was like, okay, we should buy you a real pair of dress shoes. I'm like, sick. Apparently, light brown is the way to go, because everyone on Instagram was wearing those with like blue suits, right? And we didn't go to Nordstrom. We went to Aldo. And we were like the Mr. B collection or something, like their premium line was like $110. I'm like, holy shit. And I
This is
got
the most
those.
I've ever spent on shoes.
And they still were for a while,
Yeah.
until I bought like new shoes. But like, like they were really not plasticky, but they were like pretty bad leather. Like they faded instantaneously. Like, like increased like the Dickens, like Charles Dickens, my friend.
Okay.
It's pretty funny, right?
No.
No, it's not. No, but like it was so. I was proud of those shoes, and if you look back at like vintage outfits that I created, you would see like these not bright brown, but like tan colored wingtip derbies.
Yeah.
And I wore those like all the time. And then went to college. And wait, did you say that you wore Chippewas like a lot?
Yeah. Well, my
'Cause
Chippewa
I met
boots
you when I was.
that I
I met, yeah.
yeah that I got for Christmas one year, and I still love those boots. I still wear them. But yeah, in high school I'd wear those like every day.
So what did you wear with your suits? Like when we both were like into vintage.
I would wear. I had like 2 pairs of brown shoes, leather shoes. Also, I think I got like everything at TSW in high school. but my brown leather shoes, my nicer ones, were still kind of saddle shoes, but instead of suede, they were just regular brown leather.
You really like the saddle shoes, right?
Yeah, because I mean, it's like
Here's a quote: Spencer liked the SS.
My opinion was that it was like I was like, yeah, I could buy shoes, or I could get like another shirt or something, or a jacket.
Well, yeah, this goes back to that
Oh.
Aldens episode where I said that if you were to spend a lot on shoes, yeah, that's great, but I'd rather have a sport coat or a shirt or a tie that I know I would wear more, because I don't really need multiple shoes, I guess. It was just kind of like, well, one shoe can get you through a lot of stuff, while a jacket is like a fun, like people see the jacket,
Yeah.
right? Like a lot of people say, oh yeah, a true measure of man, you could look at his shoes and see the condition, but I'm like, nah, man, people see like the shirt or the jacket or the pants you're wearing. And within reason though, right? Because it's like, it's not like we're wearing Rockport shoes at the stage anymore. Like when I got into when I got to college and started like expanding onto like classic menswear or like hashtag menswear, I got like tassel loafers again from Aldo. They were made of canvas and they ripped apart a lot because I wore them sockless, and like when you have sweaty feet, canvas like does weird shit, so it was really weird. They smelled bad.
Because I'm also gonna say that it's like, I think this is the point you're bringing up, but even though our shoes at the time weren't nice, I'm sure still a lot of people who weren't as into fashion would be like, oh damn, those are nice shoes.
Yeah, and they were.
Yeah.
I mean, those tassel loafers from what I remember, there's a picture of them on the blog post that you'll be able to see. But like, they're not shaped too badly. They're not like super like Magnani, like elongated Italian style. Like they're pretty normal. They're not like an Alden Aberdeen last where like it's more of a slipper look.
Yeah.
But they were fine for what they were, and they were like a classic like kind of light brown, almost like a muted green color that kind of went with like chinos or jeans or whatever. And then I remember seeing Raj. Now, if you guys haven't read the Raj episode or you heard it, like a sheep. That's funny. I always said that Raj was always like killing it, like all the time, consistently, and he was the first person I saw wearing like low vamp tassel loafers, and they were like a gray suede, and he wore them all the time, sockless, with socks, with everything, with like shorts, and I was like, dang, this is really cool. And I think that was also the same time I discovered MFA a little bit, and I realized people were like buying Allen Edmonds, and I'm like, oh, I should do that on eBay because that's pretty cool. And even people in the vintage menswear scene who are very anti like modern fashion, they were like, yeah, you can buy Allen Edmonds, like those are fine.
Yeah.
You know. And Allen Edmonds,
that's the other really quick. That's the other pair of shoes I had. I still have them. I don't think I can't remember the last time I've worn them, but they were a pair of like olive green cap toe derbies from Allen Edmonds. Yeah,
I do remember these.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and they were fine. You wore them like tweed suits and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they look
cool.
I just haven't worn them because it's like they're green shoes.
Yeah. But you bought them from Benny, I think.
Yeah,
right?
They were really cheap too. I got them for like $10-15, I think. Maybe probably more than that, but in my head, I'm gonna say I got them for $10-15.
Yeah, I mean, revisionist history.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was a weird time because like it was the first time I was like buying shoes, and I was like kind of basing it off my sneakers, and I'm pretty sure my sneakers like that my parents bought me for school weren't the best fitting. So like I distinctly remember having a few like size 8 or 8.5 Allen Edmonds that I bought secondhand on eBay, and they were way too big. But I wore because I had no idea. I'm like, oh, maybe this is how dress shoes are supposed to fit, which is bad. You know, I was like, I don't have time to go to the mall. Also, the mall, you know, when I went to school near Riverside is like a desert suburb in like Southern California, almost to like halfway to Palm Springs, and they don't have an Allen Edmonds there. They have like a Nordstrom or whatever. And I at the time I was like, oh, I don't want to go to the mall and put on the Brannick device like I should have. You know, I didn't grow up with Style Forum. I didn't grow up with Ask Andy About Clothes, where people are helpful enough to like show the size comparisons between brands. I didn't have that. I wasted money just buying stuff on eBay and then reselling them to my friends and giving them for like $5-10 because I usually bought them for like $20 to $40 and like base and see if they fit or not.
Yeah. And
that's how I built my shoe collection. Like they were so cheap, and like say like we would go to Benny's, I wouldn't find a suit to buy because like I think we've mentioned before, every time we go to Benny's it's usually like once or twice a year, and we usually buy a suit because it's like, oh, this will be like my suit for the whole year or whatever. But if we didn't find anything, I would be like, well, that's like 2 pairs of shoes I could find on eBay, you know. And by looking at eBay Allen Edmonds, like buying used Allen Edmonds size 8 and eventually size 7.5 and eventually size 7, and I'm about a 7 and 7.5 now. I would learn like all the distinct brand, like the names, the models, and like learn how like the lasts would fit. So it's kind of a weird way for me to like gain this expertise with shoes by doing the exact wrong thing you're supposed to do, you know, because shoes are a big investment. You cannot tailor shoes.
Nope.
You know, you could put an insole in them maybe, and that'll help, which I have done because, as you know, like I just said, I owned a lot of pairs of shoes that did not fit. And that's how I was able to kind of amass a collection. Like if you look at old blog posts or old Instagram posts, like you'll see I have like, I have cap toes in one picture, I've got derbies, I've got tassels, I've got penny loafers, and they're fairly good, you know, like Spencer said, like they weren't like cheap, like, you know, we progressed beyond the Aldo. They're not Alden, but nice. They're, you know, like Allen Edmonds at the time was pretty damn good for what it was.
I used to think they were like the cream of the crop because that's what MFA, I don't know if they still do, but a couple of years ago it seemed like that was like MFA was like the best shoes you can get are Allen Edmonds.
Yeah, I mean, because they were like what, $300 to $500,
Yeah.
or $300 to $400, because I think Alden starts about 500,
Mm-hmm.
and they were Goodyear welted shoes, and I think at the time they were still made in America,
Yeah.
at least from like the 90s or early 2000s, and that's what I was finding on eBay. So like, again, these shoes maybe not wouldn't be the best, and a lot of vintage people, a lot of modern people are like, oh, don't buy a used shoe because, you don't know if they're gonna fit, but also they're smelly, the leather's broken in, like you kind of want to wear it in yourself. But if as a guy who was like buying like, a tie with a couple snags on it, like a jacket that maybe might have like a frayed edge or something, I'm like, fuck this, dude, it's a shoe. And it works out because like the more shoes you have, the less time it'll take for them to wear out. And we'll get into this later, but I still have shoes that I bought while I was in college that are still like good.
And
like, I mean, they're not like, they're not new.
Like,
yeah, I still
okay.
every once in a while. Yeah. But it was a weird journey for me to have, and I just had disposable income because not really disposable. I was being unwise with my money, working at a retail store. And I did buy a couple stuff because I used to work at Banana Republic. I bought some of their shoes, and I'm like, they were bad.
Yeah, I remember I got a Banana Republic pair because I think it was like the Friends and Family sale or something like that.
I think we both got shoes for like $10 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and
That
so
was
I got
crazy.
like a pair of like the blue suede loafers. Yeah. Not very good. In retrospect, it's not very good.
Yeah, and they didn't make a size 7, so I bought a size 8, and having a full size bigger than what your foot is on a loafer is not a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But, it kind of put it all into perspective for me, and I was like, I gotta find shoes that like fit. And eventually I did find the right shoe size in Allen Edmonds. Excuse me, me with my Ethan and burping on the podcast. Running joke.
You love to do it.
Love it. I love Los Angeles.
Man, we should do that episode all over again.
Yeah, we should do it again. We forgot to do the Mickey Cohen.
Oh my
Mickey
god!
Mouse
Have we ever mentioned that on the pod? How you guys missed a great bit.
Yeah, I forgot what we were doing. Like, I think
we were at Disneyland. It was the first time we went on Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And we were leaving, and I don't know.
And I said, I was like, oh, there's Mickey Mouse, and then I think Spencer or MJ said was like Mickey Cohen, and then I did Mickey Cohen's like quotes from Gangster Squad, but as Mickey Mouse.
And we did that for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. My whole crop of cunt is ruined.
It's great, man.
There's your
if only it was like still like what year did that movie come out? Like 2011, like
2012. Yeah.
2012. We could do like a really funny viral video.
That'd be so good. That's some TikTok comedy right there.
Yeah.
Well, pre-TikTok.
Yeah, because I mean, no one on TikTok knows what Gangster Squad is. No one remembers that movie except for us.
It's our job to educate them.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, even today, not all I wear, but like a big chunk of my shoe wardrobe, I guess, closet, is Allen Edmonds. And yeah, like as Spencer said, they were the MFA darling, and they still kind of are.
And I mean, they're not bad. They're not bad shoes by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but like I said, like you got to get the old ones on eBay because now they have definitely changed. Like I went into one recently when I went to San Francisco. Like I was on Union Square and I walked in, and first, we were also at South Coast Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
We walked in, and it was like the old Allen Edmonds was like an Aldens store. It was like shoes, very classic.
Well, I don't know about the other ones, but the one at South Coast Plaza was like a golf store.
Yeah, it was, but like it still had like an old money kind of feel, like an old, like we've been to the Alden store, and it's kind of a similar vibe, right?
Yeah, it was just like mostly shoes.
But the new one, you went in there, it was so weird.
Mm-hmm. Because they have those like tattoo shoes, like the Ed Hardy looking ones with like the skulls on the side.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
And when I went to like the one in SF on Union Square, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And it's because they were bought out by like a fast fashion brand, I think.
Yeah.
A fast fashion conglomerate, and it kind of ruined it. Like I saw the Grayson tassel loafers, which are the tassel loafers I own two of, one in burgundy and one in black. And I swear the vamp got longer or something, dude. Like it just looks so different now. It looks very Italian, looks very European, very elongated and dynamic, but like you don't have that classic American shoe anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a very weird thing.
Yeah, and it's like another reason to get it on secondhand is because it's just so cheap. It's like Aldens, you still can't really find many for under like 150 on eBay. That would be a pretty good deal. But Allen Edmonds, you can get like most of their stuff for like under 100.
Yeah, I mean, like $40 to $60, I think would be where you'd want to like the sweet spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a great way to kind of build your shoe wardrobe. Just kind of educate yourself. Go on, like, now I've gone on like Ask Andy About Clothes or Style Forum to like find out like what the best last was. Like, I know that they had like a couple of different models for penny loafers, and I like the Randolph one because it has like a lower vamp. Again, the Grace and Tass loafer is really good. And then there's classic stuff like, the McAllisters and like the Strands, like the classic Oxford shoes that they have, are still good. I used to wear one of those as like my main shoe until like I think I just realized the shoes were like just too big. But I have a suede pair of McAllisters. I think that's the Brogue one, the Brogue Capto one, whatever that one is, and I have a brown suede pair in that, and I love that one. It's really good. But yeah, so to kind of tie the story together. So I was like, I did that for a lot. I haven't done it recently, but like maybe until about like a year ago, I kept buying used Allen Edmonds, kind of just replacing ones. Like after I knew what I liked, I just found the same model, same size, and just bought it because I knew it would fit me. But then that changed when I finally got a pair of Aldens.
Yep, because your first pair was the indie boot.
Yeah. So first off, now let me just say that Alden is like my favorite shoemaker.
Oh yeah.
It's so like you think that Allen Edmonds is quintessential American, and it is because you look at like old. I have Esquire catalogs from like 1940s, which have Allen Edmonds advertisements in there. But Alden is something else because Alden has kind of stayed with this like artisanal, old school manufacturing. I mean, they're a modern company now. I mean, they've got stores in different places.
And it's like I don't know how true this is, but this is something I think I heard from our buddies when we were in San Francisco. Well, like after going to the Alden store, but Alden used to be kind of like, they kind of were like the Allen Edmonds of like, like back in the day. It was like a good brand, but it was kind of entry level. Yeah. But they were basically the only brand that continued manufacturing exactly as they did in the 40s and 50s, whatever. And that's why they're considered so good today, because everyone else kind of cheaped out. They were like, no, we're just going to stick with what we have. Which is kind of sad. That's kind of sad that like a mid-tier brand is now the top of the line because everyone else is bad now. But they're still great.
I can't think of any other American shoe that's like in that same level or that's same attention to quality. But like they're a big deal. A lot of menswear guys love them. They are American, so if you don't like American shoe last or like English style shoe last, of course you're not gonna like it. I know like a few menswear guys prefer like Japanese shoes because again they are more elongated, they're all more dynamic. But I like them because I think Spencer and I have kind of like even though Spencer doesn't dress up as much as I do anymore, we have kind of a more laid back, kind of casual approach to menswear. Which if you're listening to this, you probably know that already.
And I mean, even if I don't wear suits all the time, I still wear like loafers, and I still wear like my long wings all the time.
You do, yeah. And that's actually a fun story because I think what did we find it? Like we were like, oh, Shell Cordovan. It's not. It's still only like $20. Like let's buy it. Yeah, it's like a very deep burgundy with like whoever had it before took good care of it. But like I saw it on Drake's like a lot. The Drake's guys love Aldens. Michael Hill wears Alden. You can see it like on their feed. They sell it in their stores. And I'm like, whoa, what are these? What are those? These are my Crocs.
There was like two vines.
Yeah. No, I saw them in, I saw them on their social media. And I'm like, wow, these look different than the Allen Edmonds I'm wearing. This is like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm like, okay, so just like when you're finding what makes a 30 suit, you start looking at shoes and like, okay, what makes that like an American shoe? Like what makes this one an Alden shoe compared to like an Allen Edmonds? And you find out like the shape is different. And Alden has different lasts. So does Allen Edmonds. You like, oh, why is that burgundy so dark and shiny? What is that? Oh, it's Shell Cordovan. You
got like, what is Shell Cordovan? And someone's like, it's horse ass.
Horse ass.
And you're like, hell yeah.
I'm gonna eat it.
Nice.
What's horse meat called?
Let's Google that.
It's fine.
I
you
think
don't
it's
have to
just
Google
called
it.
horse meat. That's what I think it's called.
Whatever. We're fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's all good. But yeah, it was such a big thing to me, and then like obviously you look up Alden or you look at what's on the Drake site, like oh they're like $500 to $600. Can't do that. But they always remained like a grail to me, and of course I showed that to my friends like, hey Spencer, check this out, and like oh shit, Aldens, and I think Spencer already knew them for the Alden indie boot, because as we've referenced before in our past we have definitely found that whole Indiana Jones recreation.
It's like the
costuming thing.
incredibly detailed costume website.
Yeah. And so that's how I remember like, oh yeah, Alden made the indie boot. And so and again, a lot of our friends had them. We were friends with the Drake's guys, who are now the J Music guys, and they love wearing Alden and everything. And it was such an aspirational thing for me. And again, it's hard to find my size. I'm a size 7. A lot of people who buy size 7s and Aldens are rare, or they're shipped off to Japan where more people will buy them because those people are my shoe size. So I never really had luck, and at the time I still didn't feel like spending like $150 to $200 on a pair of used shoes. I'm like, that's like an Allen Edmonds pair, and so far mine are still pretty good. And then of course there's like Meerman and stuff like that, and we went there in New York City to try them out, and they're like $250. I had a pair that were too small for me because I don't know, my feet are
Those
fucking
were the
weird.
loafers?
No, I got a pair of Oxfords from them.
That's right, yeah.
And they were too, because okay, so here's the full story, and this kind of relates to the whole Ethan's shoe journey thing. It's also in the blog post where I went to Loke in London, and that's when I bought a $250 pair of Chukka boots, and those were like at the time the first pair of shoes I bought new, like not sneakers because I bought Kill Shots before and Converse, but like these were like, oh shit, I'm investing now. Plus I was in London where Loke is there, and I heard good things. I didn't like Allen Edmonds' Chukka boot. I didn't want the Clark's one. I wanted like something a little bit more dressy. And so I bought them there, and I don't know if it was like just me not tightening the laces up as much or something, but like I felt like they were too loose. So when I went to buy their loafers through the Bloke, when the Bloke opened like a year later, I sized down a full size, and I thought that was my right shoe size. And then so I started buying shoes in like a size 6 American, including those Meermans, and it was bad. And then when we actually got a chance to go to Meerman in New York City, my feet were fucked.
Yeah.
I was like limping around. I got like a bunch of blisters, and so I couldn't even find out what my true size at Meerman was when I was there, because like anything I put on was bad. And so for a while I didn't buy shoes until a fateful day when I walked into Carroll and Company, which is a trad store, menswear store that used to be alive in Beverly Hills. I think it's coming back, but they were having a closing sale, and I knew that they carried Aldens because they were like an old school store. And as like we said earlier, Alden is kind of an old school brand. They don't do sales. They don't have a lot of stores. They only have like an SF or
New York
or whatever. Yeah. And so, you don't see them on sale. Of course, people aren't going to give it to you on sale if they stock them. But the store was, since it's going out of business, it's like 20% off the whole store. I'm like, oh shit, 20% off Aldens. That's pretty good for a new pair. I'm not buying something used. I can break it in myself, and I can try them on because they're right here. And so I went in there, and I was like, hey, I think I'm like a size 7, or I tried on a few sizes. I'm like, okay, I'm a size 7 now. I know this. And I'm like, okay, what do you have in a size 7? They're like, nothing. And I'm like, oh shit. Because the reason why I got it, because I think they had a 7.5 in the shoe that was like the last one, and it was a little too big, but it wasn't like in a color I wanted. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna spend like $400, saving $100 at least, but still $400 on a shoe that's not really what I want in the shade that I want. That's like half size too big. So I was like size 7. Like fuck, they're out of size 7. I think they had like a penny loafer, but it was black. And I'm like, well, I already have a black penny loafer. I'd rather have like a burgundy or brown pair that I know I'm gonna wear all the time. But I was like, do you have anything like 6.5? Like, I mean, I'm like, shit. Well, I already tried sizing down. This is bad. But they brought out these shell corded boots, and I'm like, okay. I put them on, and they fit like perfectly.
Because were you going in there? You didn't want like a pair of boots necessarily?
I didn't want
right?
a pair of boots. Yeah. And again, these pictures are in the blog post. But like these pair of boots were like an indie style boot on the Berry Last, which I think is what the indie boot is on. It's a very rounded toe, very wide. But they didn't have any speed laces, and it was made of full shell cordovan and had like a commando like sole. You know, it got like it's not exactly a tanker because a tanker has a split toe, and these ones didn't. This one had like the kind of apron toe or a mock toe that the indie boot has. Apparently, it was like a very it was like a collaboration that Carol and Co had. Like this is like the last one that they had, and it was 6.5, but it fit perfectly. I'm like, oh fuck. And so I didn't have any boots at the time. Like I did.
But you just never wore them.
I had the Chukka boot, and I had a Chelsea boot, both in suede. I don't have boots.
Well, no, you have the ones that you kept in your car.
Oh yeah. Well, I used to have like a pair of not red. Oh, I think Wolverine boots or Fry work boots that I got from like Nordstrom, and I didn't wear them because they suck.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, these will be like the ultimate boot now, right? Like I don't have any work boots. These are it. And so I bought them. They were like $600 because without the sale it would have been like $800 or something like that. And I'm like, these are like the boots for like the elements, and they were like, I wore them to San Francisco, I wore them to Seattle, I wore them whenever it rains. They were perfect. So they're my first pair, not only of Aldens, but like shell cordovan, and I'm like, this feels way different than like anything else I've ever had. So at that moment I was like, okay, the next pair of shoes I'm gonna get are gonna be Alden shoes.
And were
like,
they?
No.
You're a liar.
No, I'm a liar.
Yeah.
That's because we went to the Armory, and they just recently launched the what do you call it, the split toe that they made with Fukuda-san, that they designed in collaboration. It's made in England. And so I bought those because those are dope, and they were about like $300 at the time, or they gave me like a kind of like a homie discount, which was really appreciated.
Which is that's a great deal for those.
Yeah, I mean they're like they're like $500. I think I spent like $400 after they gave me like a 10% whatever.
Yeah,
it was just an industry fun thing. Shout out to Max, to our buddy Max, who he works in the e-commerce, and he was really accommodating. Like he even came out to like walk us through the store. Yeah. And so like, I was like, okay, after this is going to be like my Alden pair, right? And it was true. That was last year. I didn't buy any shoes until then. I think my mom got me a pair of Wallabies for Christmas, but I didn't buy that. That was a Christmas gift. Okay, I didn't buy it. And I was like, okay, I know I like PTVs. I know I like the suede chukkas from Alden. I know there's a bunch of stuff I like, that are definitely influenced from seeing Drake's. I mean, for both of us, right? But I was like, you know what I really want? A good pair of penny loafers. Like, that's it. The suede leisure hand sewn ones are really good, but like, I don't need suede. I don't need leisure. I need like the classic penny loafer. And they weren't the first pair of Aldens. But here's what happened though. So we have a friend Mac, who not Spencer's Mac, but my Mac.
Spencer's
my Mac computer.
Yep.
Yeah. Mac works, or he started the store Brogue in Menlo Park, in NorCal, and Alden's kind of like Levi's, where like they don't let everyone just stock their stuff. It's a big deal, and he apparently impressed them enough. He's smart about it. He does very limited runs of Alden, so he was able to create collaboration stuff with Alden, like based on his style. You take a last, you put this in like a certain color of suede or whatever. So he was always like, hey, like we should talk about something. Not like a sponsorship, just be friends. And I met him when we went to Inspiration. Super great guy. And he's like, hey, you should come up sometime. And I'm like, sure. I'm never in Menlo Park, but I definitely want to go because this store is very Bryceland's meets Drake's meets the Bloke. It's a very interesting place.
Cool place.
Yeah. And so he launched the Harvey tassel, which was like their brown suede in the Aberdeen last, their brown suede tassel. But it has kind of like a lighter shade of brown. It's not like a chocolate brown. And then it has like a contrasting apron stitching around it, which is very cool. And I was like, hey, I really like these. And he goes, do you want one? And I'm like, I mean, sure. I mean, he's like, yeah, you just have them, And I'm like, oh, fuck. And so he gave it to me in a size 6.5, because I was like, okay, my indie boots are 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
But what I forgot to remember was that, okay, the indie boot or the Berry Last is like a bigger size, so people size down. So I should have gotten a size 7. And the good thing about buying new is that you can return things.
Yep.
Or and I'm sure on eBay you could probably return stuff too if you didn't, if the seller is willing to do it. Sometimes they're not, and shipping back shoes is still expensive.
Yeah. It's just a pain in the ass. I think we talked about this in like the other episode about buying vintage. Returning stuff is a pain if you don't get it new.
Exactly. So I was like, I tried them on. I put them on carpet, and I'm like, these are too small. I think I gotta size up a half size. He goes, no problem, send them back. And I was like, I was glad to pay the return shipping because it's a gift, right?
Yeah.
This is like around my birthday, which I consider to be my birthday gift, even though it's not explicitly that. I'm just calling it that. And so I got them in. I'm like, oh, fuck, these are perfect now. I wore them a lot. I wore them with white socks. They're great. They're all in the blog post. And I'm like, okay, the Aberdeen last is it. I know what size I am. I'm a size 7. That's the one. This is it. This is going to be the same thing I'm going to get for the Alden full strap penny loafer and shell cordovan because I know I'm going to wear that all the fucking time. And so I saved up for it. I mentioned him. I messaged him back and I was like, hey, I'm ready to do this.
Pull the trigger, baby.
Pull the trigger. Yeah. Order. He goes, 2 things. Not 2 things. It's like 1 thing. We're on back order. We're sold out, and the factory's on back order. So it might be a while for you to get them. I'm like, hey, that's fine. I have saved up the money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. It's cool. I don't have to drop like $730. Because like the Shoe Mart had it, but I really wanted to support like a friend, a store. And I know the bloke doesn't carry my size, and the fact that Mac and Bro gave me a pair of Harvey ones. I'm like, I want to support this store. And so a couple weeks went by. He said it might take like a month or 2, but he's at 2 weeks. He goes, hey, they sent us some. We restocked. I can ship them out today. I'm like, sweet. Send me an invoice, whatever. He goes, don't worry about it, bro. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, dude. That's crazy. He's like, no, dude. Like, we love that you really like the Harvey tassel over. I think you're gonna like these ones because these are obviously your grail, which you've also mentioned a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. These are the ones. And so like, he's like, yeah, just make sure you mention it. Like, if you talk about it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about these. Like, I was already gonna write this whole article because I already told Spencer, and if you're in the Street Express Facebook group, you should know that I've always been waiting for this moment to get shell cordovan full straps, and there was gonna be a big blog post about it. So I was like, obviously I'm gonna mention everything on this thing. He
mentioned it all.
Yeah. And I am right now.
Yep.
So I got those in, and I wear them like all the time. Like, I still have like the Walden model, which are like kind of like the more rounded. They're more like similar to the Leisure hand sewn last for the penny loafers. So I still have those my Allen Edmonds ones, but they're like a beater pair. Like, if I don't feel like wearing shell cordovan, I'll wear these. These are basically like wearing a pair of slippers that I don't really care about. But
you do care about them.
I do care about them. But the full strap penny loafers are just so amazing. I think I talked about it in like the details article, and that's before I got them. They have such a great shape to them. They go with everything. They go with jeans, chinos. I wear them with suits. I wore them to Dapper Day with my cord suit, which was really great. I love like the interaction of shell cordovan, the dark shell cordovan with like a dark brown trouser with like a purple sock or like a navy sock or even a white sock.
And plus, they both have cord in the name, so it's a perfect match.
Double C's, double cords.
Yeah.
And so like that's it. Like that was like that's like the height, and that's what made me kind of like, after getting them, I'm like, this is like the journey is like the main journey is complete now. Like I've come through. I've gone through, buying random shit on eBay to find out what fits, and not even returning it, just keeping them because I'm a fucking lazy bitch who has no financial intelligence.
That's gonna be the episode quote. It's not even gonna be the whole sentence. It's just gonna be, I'm a lazy bitch.
I'm a lazy bitch. That's it. I'm a nasty bitch. But yeah, it's been really weird to kind of look back now and seeing like how dumb I was with shoes.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because we got into the stuff a lot before where like a lot of people ask like, why don't you invest in good shoes? I'm like, well, I'm not investing in bad shoes. I'm just not spending a lot on a new pair that I really want, because like we said before, I really like wearing sport coats. I'd rather have a new sport coat or a new OCBD or a new pair of chinos than just, a a pair of shoes because I had so much, and I say this in the blog post, it didn't really matter. They were all gonna last a very long time. I know I may not shine them or condition them, but you wear them like once a week, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Even if they're like old, they're gonna be fine. Which is why I'm definitely a maximalist. We don't say, the one shoe that'll get you through everything. We don't preach that on the blog or the podcast. And that's why Spencer and I have been able to have clothes that we've had for years that still fit us, or that haven't
fallen apart,
died or fallen apart. All of our vintage is still okay, and it's because we have so much of it that we don't wear it every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically my shoe journey.
Wow.
And I don't even know what's next, because I know for a fact I don't like Carmina, just because I don't like, again, elongated European style lasts. But I definitely do like Crockett and Jones.
Oh yeah, they're great, and they got a shout out on Succession.
Yeah, they did. And in terms of like brand stuff, even though they're not worn by the Drake's guys, they are worn by the guys at Anglo Italian. They made a collaboration with them, and those shoes are really lovely.
Yeah.
I think I just like English shoes, which again is what American shoes kind of take after.
Yeah,
more almond style, almond shape, not nothing too long, not too many chisel toe kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't like the shoes that are like, I don't know. The elongated shoes just seem too like formal, as we said before.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I like the kind of like, just more not dumpy. That's maybe a bad word.
Dumpy.
Dumpty. Yeah, I like the kind of more casual, I don't know, I just think they're cooler. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're like the last half half hour of this episode. Why don't we talk about like the shoes that we like to wear?
Yeah.
Why don't you start us off, Spencer?
So I mean the dress shoes that I wear most frequently, and I wear as I mentioned before, I have my like fake shell cordovan, like old.
Just call it a dark burgundy.
It's a dark burgundy Florsheim Imperial, and I don't know how old it is. I think it's probably like 60s or 70s. When I first got them, I bought them and I kind of regretted it because I wore it the first night and they were my feet hurt so bad. But after a couple wears,
bit of Ethan in New York.
After a couple wears, it got a lot better. I still kind of want to get inserts in them because they've broken in. It doesn't hurt to wear anymore, but it's like the bottom is just so like hard that it could be.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal for vintage shoes.
Yeah, so I need to get some inserts for that, but they're fine. And then I have a pair of Ralph Lauren, like polo Ralph Lauren penny loafers.
That you wear all the time.
I love those things because they look a lot like 50s, like the earliest like penny loafers, like the Basswegians or whatever.
Yeah, or the Alden Leisure hand sewn ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course I have my Allen Edmonds Mojave. It's the Mojave 1, which get mistaken for Aldens all the time.
Yeah, because they have a very similar shape. The color and the stitching is very similar as well.
Yeah.
They're really good. You
That's
find those on eBay, right?
No.
You said your friend gave them to you, right?
A friend of Jay's. Jay messaged me and said, "Hey, do you want chukka boots?" And I said, "Sure."
Absolutely.
And he sent me a picture, and I was like, "Okay, how much should I Venmo him?" And it's like, "No, you could just have them." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then next time Jay was down, he gave them to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people ask us about like how we get our clothes and everything, and honestly, some of it's just luck.
Yeah, exactly. Like I lucked out with those, and it's like again, if you're looking for them, look. It's the Mojave 1, not the Mojave 2, which I don't like as much. I haven't seen them in person, but based on the pictures, I don't like them as much.
Gotcha.
What I still want is unlined suede loafers, penny loafers. I don't think
Alden Leisure hand sewn.
I know. I kind of want a pair of black tassels, but I don't know. I like penny loafers a little bit more.
And why do you like the black tassels, Spencer?
I don't know, because of you and that dye workwear article.
Yeah.
Because every time I'm like, man, I mostly wear earth tones. I mostly wear Burt Brown shoes, but every once in a while I'm like, Dan, I wish I had some black shoes right now. Then I don't know if this is a discussion, but I still want like duck boots. But it's one of those things where it only rains like 4 days a year in California, but every day it rains in California. I'm like, damn, I really want these. I want duck boots so bad right now.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot in the rainy day attire episode. Yeah. So for me, you can look at the blog post. I have a lot of shoes. Maybe not compared to some other people, but I definitely have a lot. For me even, because if I look at what I mainly wear, it's always going to be like, okay, so I wear the Armory split toe suede ones as like my dressy pair because they're the most elegant shoe that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and I wear them with suits a lot, interviews. They're suede, but they're not like, they're not fancy. They're not like a formal pair, but they're the most formal pair of shoes I own. So I wear that for suits. I wear my black tassels for suits a lot as well because I have black cap toes and I never wear them, but I got them for like super cheap, and I have them just in case I need to wear cap toes, brogues.
Mm-hmm.
But I never do because they're Allen Edmonds, and the cap toe doesn't really, like, the shape of it's a little too soft of a rounded toe for me, so they're not exactly elegant. So if I want the elegant shape, I'll just wear my tassel loafers, the black ones. I also have black penny loafers, which I also swap out depending on the mood. Like if I want to do a casual look but with black shoes, I'll wear black penny loafers, and if I'm doing a more tailored look, I will wear the black tassel ones. And then other than that, for like my brown shoes, I mainly wear my Aldens shell cordovan penny loafers, the suede tassel loafers, or my Allen Edmonds burgundy Grayson tassel loafers. Like I wear those like all the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Like if I had to redo it, like if my other shoes died, I wouldn't replace them because that is what I wear. But because they haven't died, I just have them. And when you have a lot of shoes, it's kind of fun to like push yourself to kind of create new looks. That's what comes with having a maximalist wardrobe, I guess. Like I don't like being limited, and I'm sure most of my friends don't either, because we all have lots of fucking clothes.
Didn't you have a pair of like mall brand shoes that you were still wearing? They looked good. That you still wore like up until like maybe a year or two ago. They were like brown cap toes, I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I can't even imagine that.
Maybe not mall brand, but it's like shoes that you've had since like high school or early college that you were still wearing.
I don't know, but okay. But in the blog post, there was an episode. I had a pair of plain toe blue shirts from Zara that were made out of suede.
I think that's it. That's it. That's what
I
was
wore
thinking of.
those a lot, like during college. I bought them when I was in college because I wanted like a cool. Like I saw guys wearing dress shoes, but they're not dress shoes. They're lace ups, but they're suede. So cool. I gotta be cool like them. I wore those a lot, and I wish I still had them now. They're probably a size too big because Zara didn't make a size 7. So I bought like a size 8.
Have you? So you're like, are you like a different size in like every brand, or is there? You can generally say it's like.
No, I think I'm like a size 7. It just kind of depends on the last.
Yeah.
Like again with the Alden PTBs, which are on the berry last, it would be a 6.5, right? Because like they're the same thing as like my boots. But then if it was like the tassel ones that I want with the low vamp and everything, the Aberdeen last, that's a 7 for sure. And then for all my Allen Edmonds, I'm a 7 in all of them. So yeah. So basically, again, like I said, like the main ones I wear are tassel loafers, penny loafers, and like the suede split toes.
How do you feel about monk straps in the year 2019 coming into 2020?
Single monks only. I don't know. I mean, double monks are so lame.
Do you wear monk straps anymore? Do you still have any?
I did used to have a pair of black double monk straps from Steve Madden that I got from a Nordstrom rack.
Steve Madden.
Yeah, bad.
Women's
bad
shoes.
Stuff. And then I got a single monk strap pair that were Barney's brand. I don't know who makes them. Got them on eBay. They were like a half size or a full size too big, but I still wore them. I still have them. I haven't thrown them away because they're still okay. Like I've worn them to death, and I loved wearing them because before I got my suede split toes, I would wear those as like my fancy shoe because, monk straps are notorious for being very sleek. You might have a cap toe on them, in most cases, but these ones were plain toe. And because there's no laces, it's a very sleek, minimal look. So I would wear that with suits a lot until I just got tired of how big they were for me. And unfortunately for me, most of my friends are like a full size to a size and a half bigger than me, so they can't always just take my shoes. But yeah, what else did I have? I know like everything else is basically like novelty. Like I found a pair of cordovan plain toe Bluchers maybe like a year ago on eBay from Allen Edmonds on the lead last, which looks almost like a berry, the PTB last, and it's great. I think one of the shoes has lost traction in the bottom, like on the insole, and so like my right foot slides around in it because there's nothing to grip, which is kind of a weird thing to have because they both fit. They're just like one like kind of just comes out, and I think the laces need replacing so they don't stay like tied down very long. But I wear those. I always like think of like PTBs as like the Doc Martens of like the menswear world.
Yeah.
Like, because Doc Martens, right? The Doc Marten boots are like the derbies. They're very plain. They're kind of chunky. And when you see PTBs like through Alden or the leads from Allen Edmonds, they're kind of chunky too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they have that kind of same effect. Similar with like Wallabies, especially if you get them in like leather or Paraboot. Paraboot has a kind of like this kind of weird punk.
Oh, I
aesthetic
also want Paraboots.
Yeah, Paraboot Michaels are really cool.
Yeah.
I'm saying that off the top of my head. I know that there are two styles of Paraboot that I like. I think it's the Chambord and the Michael. We'll put a link in those in the show note blog post thing.
There's this
Japanese
really cool guy that I follow that I think he works in one of the Paraboot stores, and he just like posts pictures of his Paraboots. They have some hair-on styles that I'm like, damn, this is pretty sick. Like, I kind of want those. They're a little bit more out there.
I can't do that. I can't do it.
What styles of shoes, not even just talking about like hair-on stuff or whatever, like just like what styles of dress shoes can you just not wear?
Other than like double monks,
I mean, you've talked about your distaste for horsebit loafers before.
Yes, I don't like them because I don't know. They seem kind of douchey to me.
I think
like
that's, I don't think I want them. I don't own any, but I think that's kind of part of the appeal.
That is the same thing with like why some big menswear guys today still wear double monks. Like they're still that kind of like that like, oh well, I'm like feeding into the joke kind of thing, you know. And I think I've seen some good bit loafers like through. I think Chase has some. Matt.
I really like Doug's pair, the suede pair. That one's nice.
I don't like the last on those ones.
Okay.
I think they're too long. Like they have to look like a penny loafer, but with a bit. Like they have like that either the LHS or an Aberdeen kind of thing going on, and not many do. Most times I've seen them. Most times you see it like on the street. They're like too long, you know, because everyone tries to copy the old 50s, 60s Gucci pair that was like that became famous.
Yeah.
I'm starting to not like Oxfords like at all anymore, dude. Like I can't.
Yeah, when's the last
like,
time you wore a pair of Oxfords?
I mean, like I said, like I have a lot of pairs of shoes. I have two. I have one in brown suede, which is fun, and I have one in black. I never wear the black. I wear the brown ones I wear them a lot with suits. I don't wear them separately because I have a weird rule where I can't wear Oxfords with separates. It's a weird thing that I have.
I think that's a pretty reasonable rule. I think it's weirder when it's the opposite, where it's like people who are like, I can't wear derbies with full suits. It's like, you know what? Wear it. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, if that was the case, I wouldn't be able to wear my split toes.
Yeah.
With any suits, and I do that a lot. But yeah, I don't really wear Oxfords as much. I don't really like wearing lace-ups in general. The appeal to me with shoes is kind of like it's like equal parts sleek and equal parts contrasting, because a lot of people like, you know, with socks, right, you want the whole thing to kind of be like one continuous color or something like that. And I see the appeal with like a loafer where I don't know what the menswear equivalent way to explain this, but like I described it recently as like wearing like hosiery. Like when you see like a woman or a man, whatever, wearing like stockings with like heels or like a flat, like I like that like look. And to me it's represented like if someone wears like, you know, like my cord suit with purple socks that go down to like a low vamp penny loafer, it's a little bit feminine for some reason. That's the only way I can describe it, but I love that aesthetic. I don't know what it is, and that's one reason why I love wearing loafers. It has a weird feminine energy that I really enjoy, and especially if the loafer is shaped really well, which if you haven't guessed already, I'm very picky about how the shape and the vamp and everything with the loafers are. And then with like regular shoes like PTBs or like any kind of Blucher, it's got to have like a kind of a almond shape, but like kind of be chunky to get that Paraboot kind of aesthetic to it, but also like a little bit of punk Doc Marten stuff to it, you know. There's a little bit of like weird stuff that when you think of like how you wear your shoes, like how you create the fit, you know, like what the aesthetic is that you're going for. And in terms of like shoes I would buy next, I think it would just be about buying, like now that I know exactly what I want, it's just about buying the good versions of those. Like that's kind of like a theme in menswear, right? Like when you get to be more into it, you're kind of just replacing what you like, you know, like, you're not buying Oxfords at J. Crew anymore, or Oxford shirt button downs at J. Crew. You're buying it from Drake's, or you're getting a bespoke, you know. It's all about that kind of thing.
Do we want to talk about more casual shoes like sneakers, whatever. Do you have
Oh,
any
yeah, we
opinions
can-
on that?
Yeah. I used to want like a common projects, like I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Our friend Doug also likes common projects, and if you know Doug has a very kind of more rugged, slightly minimal, more Americana kind of thing. It's kind of fun to see minimal stuff show up in there. But I used to want that until I realized like I'm not. I think I'm just trying to be a meme of myself, because a lot of menswear guys in general like Mark Cho. There's a picture of Mark Cho wearing a linen jacket with chinos with common projects,
Yeah.
like minimal white sneakers, and I don't.
I'm
I
not.
don't like
Yeah,
it.
I'm not a huge fan of common projects. Like I think they're good looking shoes, but I don't think I'd be able to work them into my style. Like the white
Yeah.
sneakers I wear most often are my Chuck 70s. I have.
Oh, which I still want.
Oh, they're so good, man. The low.
Even though I have Chuck 80s
You
that
have
are all
vintage
still made,
Chuck 80s.
they're the vintage pair of ones that look very similar. They just don't have the same colors because mine are old and faded,
Yeah.
which I love.
But yeah, it's like
Oh.
it's not just like oh, I don't think I can work like just a white, like a plain white sneaker. It's just that I don't like it. What's the sneaker brand that Drake's carries? The jet like Moon something.
Moonstar. I think,
Moonstar.
or
Remember
Doic
the
or
ones that they
whatever?
posted a while ago? Like it was like this was like maybe 2017.
Yeah, like,
but
it was
like
like
the
an
all
Oxford
canvas
kinda,
ones,
yeah.
it's like, oh my god, those are beautiful. But I know just
Yeah.
an all white leather sneaker, I don't think I could do.
Yeah, I don't really wear leather sneakers. They're all like canvas now. You know, I think I can speak for Spencer that when we say our sneakers kind of take after like what Ivy people would wear. You know,
Mhm.
like
exactly, yeah.
we would like the Cloud Sperry's, even though we don't own any, so we have Vans Authentics instead.
Well, because it's like my thing is like I like I kind of like this Cloud Sperry style a little bit more. Maybe.
Oh, me too.
But I think it's because I'm from Orange County. Vans is from Orange County. I'm like, hometown, baby.
And also for me, it's kind of like the whole, you know, to my youth of like, you know, going to Hot Topic and seeing people
Yeah.
wear Vans. I'm like, you know, this is like my people, even though I'm not outwardly a punk, you know, inside.
My only
you know.
complaint is that Vans has the Anaheim Factory collection, which is supposed to be like these are basically like our earliest styles, our earliest colors.
Yeah.
But they don't go the Chuck 70 route of having the old logo on the back. They occasionally make ones that have the Van Doren, which was their original name, logo, but usually they're like kind of ugly. Like a buddy of mine had a pair of like the Van Doren style Vans, but they were like faded American flag.
Mhm.
And I was like, that sucks. If they made just like the Anaheim Factory collection just with the Van Doren nameplate on the back, I would buy every pair.
I mean, I haven't thought about sneakers that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first pair of sneakers that I bought that were like fashion and that I've kept are like my Kill Shots, and I don't wear them as much anymore, even though they are great. I find myself wearing my Converse or my Vans Authentics, and they're all white. They're all white sneakers.
I wear my Kill Shots, like I'm wearing them right now. These are like my running errands or whatever shoes, because
Yeah.
it's like they're pretty comfortable. They're super comfortable, and I need to do something with my Converse because they squeak when I
I don't know what that's
walk.
about. Yeah, my Made in USA Converse, I decorated them while I was painting.
But I
because-
don't know. It's like even though the Chuck 70s and the Kill Shots are like both like 70s sneakers, they just have like different vibes. The vibe.
Oh yeah, no, I think that can be said for everything that we talked about. Like I said, like, you know, Bluchers are kind of casual.
Yeah.
If you read the blog post, I say I wear those, you know, with like jeans. I don't really wear them with like tailoring because my pants are fuller, and chunky shoes don't work with full pants. So I think, yeah, everything has a different vibe to them. I really want the blue Cloud Sperry's because because I bought the blue Vans Authentics when I was in that whole mode of buying everything as a 6, even though I'm not a 6. Those don't fit me anymore or at all, and I definitely gave those ones away. So right now all I have are white sneakers. I don't have anything else, and so I think next will be a Cloud Sperry. But then again, it's like I already have a lot of it. I don't really need another pair of sneakers. I don't wear sneakers very often. If I'm gonna go out, I will probably wear penny loafers.
Yeah.
Almost always, you know. And I think we talked about this before, especially about like buying shirts. Where for me, whatever I buy has to work with everything. You know, it has to work with, you know, casual Japanese Americana streetwear, avant-garde, whatever you want to call it. It's got to work with tailoring, like a full suit. It's got to work with separates. It's got to work with shorts, you know. So it's it's like that kind of thing. that I always think about when I'm buying shoes, which is why I knew that I was gonna get the full strap penny loafers because I know they're gonna go with everything.
Yeah.
I know that my Converse are gonna look good with World War II chinos or with like my raw hem jeans. I know that my the R.M. Williams, that's a fairly recent one that I didn't get to talk about, but I got like black boots, and I know those go with fucking everything. I wore them with like cords and like a blue blazer to like me wearing a fucking leather jacket as like a throwback to like Western wear, you know? So, yeah. It's been a weird journey.
What a long and
shoes.
a good thing you've had good shoes to walk that journey on.
Yeah, at least from the past year.
Yep.
I haven't really bought anything else. I can't really think of anything else I'm gonna buy other than, again, like I said, replacing things I already have. And in that note, I feel like I'm gonna replace my burgundy tassel loafers with Aldens shell cordovan ones, and we'll see what comes from there.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you're looking out for, Spencer?
Like I said, it's like I just kind of want like unlined suede penny loafers, or just maybe suede penny loafers in general.
You think you're gonna do the my route and like kind of save up or expect an Alden pair?
Yeah, I might.
I mean, honestly, Alden is worth the investment.
What was at the WM Brown party? What was the?
Oh yes.
Were those suede loafers or suede like unlined loafers?
Yeah. He made.
I wonder if they're out yet.
I don't know about they are out. They are out.
Is it just on the WM Brown project?
Yeah, Scararo. Check that out.
What's the brand one more time?
Right, Scararo.
Okay.
Yeah, look that up. We'll put them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that'll do it. We talked a lot. I mean, anything that we didn't talk about, it's probably going to be in that blog post anyway. So read both, because like I said in every episode of the podcast, to get the full experience, you got to follow us on everything.
Yep.
And you never know what's going to come out.
It's like Star Wars. You have to play Fortnite. You have to.
You
have to read the read the comics.
The day of the revenge. Mm-hmm. The day of the Sith. I can't. Okay. Well, I can't believe that the Dead Speak message was played on Fortnite.
It's
and the only way you're supposed to know that is by playing that game.
That's crazy.
The Rise of Skywalker is fucking trash, bro. Chris Terrio is awful.
Do you believe
it's about House of Palpatine versus House of Skywalker? What the fuck's the House of Palpatine? It's not fucking Game of Thrones.
Do you believe the conspiracy theory that JJ got the writer of Batman v Superman, so if the movie didn't work, he could blame it on someone? He had an easy target.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah. That's a theory. That's just a theory.
A game theory.
And that's the end of the episode.
There we go. We got time for answer a question here, and it comes with two parts. It's coming from our friend Danny. I'm going to say our friend. I don't think I recall it Danny. But here we go. Hello, gents. Big fan of the podcast. Number one, I want to know your thoughts on the podcast of Bruce Boyer, Unbuttoned. Specifically, the narrator saying the Neapolitan style was influenced by American styles. I don't know if that's true or not. I have not listened to the Bruce Boyer Unbuttoned podcast, which I don't know if Spencer knows, but is menswear guy. I forgot the guy's name, but I think he's like the Hogtown Rake. But he's going and interviewing Bruce Boyer each day or each episode, like talking about style.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I don't listen to many. I honestly don't listen to many menswear podcasts.
I don't either, other than Blammo.
Yeah, I listen to Blammo when it's like someone I listen to Blammo every once in a while, once in a while, but that's about it.
Yeah. So the narrator saying Neapolitan style influenced by American styles. I don't know exactly if that's true or not. I feel like it is because, again, Americans popularized a sack suit back in like the 1890s or whatever, like the first sack suits or whatever.
Well, when would you say the Italian style kind of like when would you say that kind of like originated?
I would say maybe like 1920s, 30s. I mean, I think if we think about like Rudolph Valentino.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think he wore sack suits, to be honest, though. I'm not sure if he did. And I don't think he did Neapolitan style, but maybe at the time you had a lot more commerce or a lot more movie stars, and, you know, Naples started looking at American sack suits like, hey, we can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know it that well. You know, I don't know about like the anthropological movements of menswear across Europe and America. But I wouldn't say that that's necessarily. It sounds like a good idea. I mean, they're both very soft. They both have similar, you know, aesthetics. If you think about it, you know, and once you get to like the 50s or so, you don't really see that anymore. You get the more of like the Ivy League kind of style. And again, I'm not a menswear historian.
Nope.
I know what makes a period, like I think I know what makes a period American and British look. I just don't know outside of that.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I defer to Bruce on this one. He's gonna know more than us.
Yeah. Number 2, I love the segment on rules. What were your opinions around YouTube sites like Gentleman's Gazette, Real Men, Real Style, Teaching Men Style? Do you rate them for the content they're sharing? Oh man, there's a whole episode we have about talking about menswear YouTubers.
Yeah.
We don't like rules very much, especially when they're kind of touted as like a Bible or like a fundamentalist kind of thing.
Or
And to be devil's advocate though.
It's again just like kind of a means to an end.
Yeah, and to be devil's advocate, I don't think that these guys actually believe the rules. It's just coming from the whole idea that they like listicle content. You know, they just like easy to digest stuff, and so do audiences, right? So the best way to get something is like, oh, number 1, number 2, number 3, which is probably why we're not popular, because we don't follow that.
Nope.
So I wouldn't really take what they're saying like to heart, because it really doesn't matter in like the big scheme of things. Like, and again, Spencer and I take influences from, you know, Japanese Americana, you know, who don't follow the rules about fit or style or color pairings.
And again,
to the exact degree. To
reiterate, we didn't. I mean, I don't know about we didn't like watch menswear YouTubers.
We watch them now.
Yeah, you hate watch them now.
I hate.
But it's like I used to like read Gentleman's Gazette occasionally, but it was like I never really went on his YouTube channel because it's all stuff I wasn't.
Yeah, it's either stuff we didn't care about or stuff we already kind of knew.
Yeah.
You know, so
like I'm not gonna watch his video. It's like, you know, you've interacted with Sven, but it's like he seems like a nice guy. I don't want to disparage him personally, but he just doesn't make content for me. Like I don't want to watch a video that's like how to pick the right mattress or whatever.
Is that really one?
That was let me see. That was one from a while ago that I remember like logging onto his site.
I trust you. You don't have to click clack anymore. Don't get on mic.
that was one that
You hear that, MJ? Don't get on mic.
Nice. That I remember from way back when, and I'm like, who needs this?
Yeah. But that should kind of tell you. I mean, there's more thoughts in the whole on menswear YouTubers that we do with Austin Robertson, or there's a long essay on that as well on the website. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode on shoes and learning about how I specifically spent a lot of money on mistakes and eventually got Aldens through a very great friend who I still can't believe it. I'm forever indebted to that. And I know that's not going to happen again, so I know next time I'm definitely going to buy them.
Yep.
You know, which I have no problem for, because shoes are definitely an investment, just like bespoke, just like with everything you buy. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money for it, but if you really prize it and you want the details, you know, you're going to have to pay for them,
mm-hmm.
you know? And there really are no shortcuts, because to reiterate like what we talked about, I think in like the last episode or so, that when people ask us, you know, if we've tried a bunch of different stuff, we honestly don't. We know what we like, and we buy the things that we like,
mm-hmm.
you know. So, yeah, feel free to read the whole blog post on shoes and the Aldens. Feel free to send us any more questions that you might have. The link is going to be in the episode description. I can't think of anything else to say, so I guess I'll say that my name is Ethan M. Wong. You can follow me on Instagram there.
I forgot we did that. I'm Spencer DSO. That's
DSO?
I'm Spencer. My Instagram name is Spencer DSO.
And you can follow the podcast at Style and Direction, all spelled out. Feel free to leave us a review if you like. And contact us if you guys, I don't know, if you guys got ideas, what you want to hear in 2020. If you guys want to sponsor us and hear our really lame way of saying ad copy, I want to get a sponsor just so I can improv the copy.
Okay.
I hope it's like a very lax advertiser.
Well,
or something.
it's gonna be like there's gonna be like some text that's underlined, and that stuff you have to say verbatim, but otherwise it's gonna be bullet points. I know how these things look.
Oh well, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a advertiser. I don't know.
Here's what we can write some ad copy for a fictional company, and you could show them what you can offer.
There we go. We'll do it next episode, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
That's my wife. Borat. That's gonna be in it. That's gonna be in it.